Hello guys, again this is our continuation of the reliability. It refers to the proportion of the total variance attribute to the true variance. The greater the proportion of the total variance attribute to the variance of the total variance attribute to the true variance, the more the reliable of the test. Okay? Ano nga po yung error variance? May increase or decrease a test source by varying amounts consistency of the test score, and thus the reliability can be affected. So let's looking forward to our reliability estimate. We have 5 topics here. The test reset reliability, parallel form, internal consistency, split half reliability, and inter-score reliability. Okay? So guys, ito. Reliability estimate natin. Define muna natin what is test-related reliability. Take note nyo lang guys na we're looking for the error nito is for the time sampling. Okay? Test-related method or time sampling, one way of estimating the reliability of measuring instrument is by using the same instrument to measure the same thing at the 2 point in time. Okay? Okay. Retest reliability and an estimated of reliability obtained by correlating pairs of scores from the sum people of two different administration. Okay? First is appropriate when measuring variables that is relatively stable over time. For example, personality traits. Unless when measuring variables that fluctuates. Okay? Passage of the time is error itself. Longer interval between two administration equal lower reliability coefficient, and correlation between two administration decrease. Okay? We have sa ating test retest reliability, time sampling siya. Time sampling reliability, an estimated of reliability obtained by collecting pairs of scores from the sum people on two different administration of the test. Appropriate when evaluating the reliability of the test that purpose to measure an enduring and stable attribute such as personality traits. Okay? This error is time sampling, established by comparing the test score obtained from two successive measurements of the sum individual and calculating a correlated between the two set of score. The longer the time pass, the greater likelihood that the reliability coefficient would be significant. Okay? Dito naman po tayo sa carryover effect. Happens when the test-retest interval is short. Okay? Where the second is influenced by the first test because they remembered or practiced in the previous test. Okay? Evaluated correlation over stimulation of reliability. Dito naman po tayo sa may practice test where score on the second session are higher to their experience of the first session of testing. Test-retest with longer interval might be effect of other extreme factor thus resulting to low correlation. Low correlation is equal to poor reliability. Okay? Sa morality naman po, morality is problem in absence in second session, just remove the first test of the absent. Okay? Sa coefficient of stability, ating statistical tool dito, nalipat po pala. Dito sa test-retest ay Person R or Spearman Row. Okay? Punta na po tayo sa may parallel form or alternate form reliability. Ang error po natin dito ay sampling item sampling or item sampling imitate or ito, okay? Sampling change over time. Establish when at least two different versions of the test yield amount the same score. In this parallel form has the most universal applicability. Okay? Parallel form, parallel form sa ating parallel form, it exists when each form of the test, the means and the variance of the observed test score are equal. Okay? In theory, the means of score obtained on parallel form correlation equally with the true score. More practically, score obtained on parallel tests correlate equally with other measure. Parallel form reliability an estimate of the extent to which an sampling and other error have affected test scores on various and other errors have affected test scores on versions of the same test when using parallel form. Okay? Sa ating Alternate form naman po are simply different versions of the test that have been constructed so as to be parallel. These are designed to be equivalent with respect to difficulty and component, even though they are legitimate parallel. An alternative form reliability an estimate of an extent to which these different forms of the same test have been affected by item sampling error or other error. The persons is used an estimated of the reliability when two forms are administered in the same day with the same group is equal to random error plus differences between the forms are the source of error. When given at different times with same group equal source of error, a random error plus difference between the form plus time sampling. Okay? Most rigorous reliability estimate yet burdensome because developers need to develop two equivalent form. Okay? Okay. Ang error natin dito is sampling error, item sampling. Okay? Establish when at least two different versions of the test yield almost the same score, has the most universal applicability. Parallel forms each form of the test, the means and the variance are equal. Same item, different positionings or numbers. Okay? This is simply different version of the test that has been constructed so as to be parallel. Test should be contain the same number of an item, and the item should be expressed in the same form and should be cover the same type of content. Range and difficulty must be also be equal. If there is a test leakage, use the form that is not mostly administered. Okay? Ito naman countering balance. This is technique to avoid carryover effect of four parallel forms by using different sequence for groups can be administered on the same day or different time. Most rigorous and burdensome since the test developers carry two forms of the test. The main problem is difference between the two tests. Okay? The score may affect by motivation, fatigue, or intervening events. Means and the variance of the observed score must be equal for the two forms. Ang statistical tool natin dito is Pearson R or Spearman-Trout. Okay? Siguro additional ko lang din po dito sa test reliability retest reliability natin. Ang coefficient of stability is estimate of the test-retest reliability when the interval between testing is greater than 6 months. Okay? The test-retest method administer the same test on two well-specific occasions and then find the correlation between scores from the two administration. The problem is carry-over effect. Carry-over effect or tong practice effect, ha? Okay? Sa carry-over natin, this is the effect. This is effect occurs when the first testing session influence scores from the second session. Okay? Sa ating practice effect naman po is some skill improve with practice. Then the test is given the second time. Test takers score better because they have sharpened their skill by having taken the test at the first time. Okay? Itong parallel form natin, ang coefficient equivalence natin dito is the degree of the relationship between the various form of the test evaluated by means of an alternative form or parallel form reliability statement. This reliability state also refers as equivalent form reliability. Okay? Punta na po tayo dito sa internal consistency. Inter-item reliability. Okay? Internal consistency estimate of reliability or estimate of inter-item consistency when an estimate of the reliability of the test is obtained without developing an alternative form of the test and without having to administer the test twice to the some people. Okay? The inter-item consistency is the degree of the correlation among all of the items on the scale. A measure of inter-item consistency is calculated from a single administration of a single form of the test. Okay? An index of internal item consistency in turn is useful in assessing the homogeneity of the test. Okay? Homogeneity. Homogeneity tests are said to be homogeneous if they contain items that measure a single trait. It is the degree to which the test measured a single factor. Okay? Ito pala yung ito po pala yung homo, ha? Ito naman po yung hetero. Where heterogeneity describe the degree to which a test measures different factors. A heterogeneous or homogeneous test is composed of an item that measure more than one traits. These are various methods in which in measuring the internal consistency of the test, such as split half method. Okay naman KR20 o coefficient alpha and APT. Okay? Ano nga po ba yung split alpha method? A test is given and divided into equivalent halves that are scored separately. The result of one half of the test are not compared with the result of the other. If the test is too long, i-divide po natin. Divide the items random into two shelves, okay? If the item get previously more difficult, so that the use of the odd even system, okay? The odd even system assign odd number items to one half of the items and even the numbered items to the other half. It yields odd even reliability, a kind of split half estimate. The computation of coefficient of the split half reliability generally entails here steps. First is divide the test into equivalent halves. Second is calculate a person R between the score on the two shelves of the test. Third, adjust the half test reliability using the Spearman-Brown formula. Okay? The higher the number of the item, the higher the reliability estimated. Since each sub-test is half as long as the fullest, the reliability statement would deflect since each half would be less reliable than the whole test. Okay?
Ano yung salamin ko dyan?
Next naman po tayo. Ito pala yun. Sinasabi ko kanina. Hindi ko na ilipat. Okay, papiyaw na lang natin yung kanina. Ano nga po ba yung split half reliability? Ang error po natin dito is item sample in nature of split. Okay? Yan. Yan, naplayawan na natin siya kanina. Tignan na po tayo sa Spearman-Brown formula. Okay? Used to correct of Spearman-Brown formula used to correct for half length because it allows you to estimate what the correlation between the two cells would have been if each half has been the length of the whole test. Okay? Spearman-Brown correction is only used when the test measures a homogeneous trait and the two shelves have equal variance. Okay? If the two halves have unequal variance, is to convex coefficient alpha. Okay? Convex coefficient alpha is a generality. Tingnan nga natin. Okay. Yung convex coefficient alpha is general reliability coefficient provide the lowest estimate of reliability at one can expect. Okay? If alpha is high, then you might assume that the reliability of the test is acceptable because the lowest boundary of the reliability is still high. Okay? The reliability will not drop below alpha. Okay? A low alpha level, on the other hand, give you less information because the alpha coefficient marks only the lower bound for the reliability. The actual reliability may still be high. Thus, have the variance for the two shelves of the test are unequal. Coefficient alpha can confirm that a test has substantial reliability. However, it cannot tell you that the test is unreliable. Okay? Kay Corder-Richardson Formula 20 naman po, it is a statistic of choice for determining the inter-item consistency of dichotomous items, primarily those items that can be scored right or wrong, such as multiple choice item. Okay? The Corder-Richardson technique avoids problem with split half method because it stimulously consider all possible way of splitting the items. Okay? When the item are highly homogeneous, KR20 split half estimate of if more heterogeneous. KR20 yields a lower estimate than split half method. Okay? The KR2 formula requires that if you find the proportion of the people who got each item correct inappropriate in some cases, coefficient alpha is appropriate for use on tests containing discontinuous item. Coefficient alpha is preferred statistic for obtaining an estimate of internal consistency reliability. The range in value from 0, absolutely no similarity to the one, perfectly identical. The concept Conceptually, coefficient alpha, much like other coefficient of reliability, is calculated to help answer questions about how similar tests of data are. Persons are ranged in value from -1 perfectly dissimilar to +1 perfectly similar. Okay? Spectacularly, person are deals with both dissimilar and similar of the dataset. Factor analysis when used to test their homogeneous. Factor analysis used when the tests are heterogeneous pala. Heterogeneous is when it is used to divide the item into subgroup, each internal consistent. After having subgroups, you can use any estimated of inter-item reliability to check the internal consistency of each subgroup. However, the subgroup of the item will not be related to the one another. The average proportion distance or APD, all measure used to evaluate the internal consistency of the test, that focuses on the degree of difference that exists between item score. Okay? Rather than focusing on similar between the scores on the item of the test, the APD is measured the focus on degree of difference that exists between item scores. However, comparison between the two different attributes are being made. One must make the comparison in C or standardized units. Okay? It is most coefficient to find different scores by first creating C-score to each measure and then find the difference between scores to score 1. Okay? Measure of inter-score reliability. Inter-score reliability, the degree of agreement, okay, or consistency between two or more score or judge or raters with regards to particular measure. Okay, the coefficient of inter-score reliability is the score from different rates are correlated with one another. The higher reliability coefficients equal the most standardized the test is. Often used when coding nonverbal behavior, used to individual minimize based in judgment. Okay? So yun, masyado na po yatang mahaba ang minutes nito. Ikakat ko na lang po dito. Yan. Sa inter-scorer reliability natin, ang error is score differences. Please like and subscribe guys ha. Okay, thank you. Wait lang. Anong ko nga. Sige, summarize ko muna. Summarize ko po muna. The test is designed to measure one factor. Homogeneous are expected to have high degree of internal consistency and vice versa. Okay? Sa ating interscore reliability, ang error natin is score differences. The degree of agreement or consistency between two or more scores with regards to the particular measure. Okay? Ang inter-score reliability ay used for coding nonverbal behavior. Like, observe differences. Okay? Kay Fles Kappa, determine the level between two or more raters when the method of assessment is measured on categorical scale. Okay? Kay Cohen's Kappa naman po, 2 rates only. Okay? Kay Krippendorf alpha, 2 or more rather, based on observed disagreement, corrected or disagreement expect by chance. Okay. Split half. Kay split half naman po, ang split half reliability, ang error natin ay item sample nature of split. Split half reliability obtained by correlating two pairs of score obtained from equivalent halves of the single test administrative ones. Split half is useful when it is impractical or undesirable to access reliability with two tests or to administer a test twice. Cannot justify the items in the middle because it might superfluously rise or lower the reliability coefficient. So just randomly assign items or assigning odd numbers items to one half and even number items to the other half. Okay? Internal consistency, inter-item reliability. Okay, to sum it up, ang error po natin dito is item sampling homogeneity. Used when tests are administered once. Consistency among items with the test. Measure the internal consistency of the test, which is the degree to which each item measured the same construct. Okay? Internal consistency is measurement for unstable traits. Okay? If all items measure the same construct, then it has a good internal consistency. Okay? Useful in assessing homogeneity. Homogeneity if a test contains items that measure a single trait or unifactorial. Okay? Heterogeneity is degree to which a test measures different factors, more than one factor traits. More homogeneous is equal to higher inter-item consistency. Sa KR20 naman po natin, used for inter-item consistency of the continuous item. For example, for instance, intelligence test, personality test, with yes or no options or multiple choice. Okay? Unequal variance Tictonus score. Okay? Sa RK21 naman po natin, if all the items have the same degree of the difficulty, for example, is the SPET test, equal variance Tictonus scored. Okay? As followed by convex coefficient alpha used when two halves of the test have unequal variance and on the test containing non-Tictonus items unequal variance. Sa average proportion distance naman po is measured used to evaluate internal consistency of the test that focus on the degree of difference that exists between item score. Okay? Ating parallel form. Wala na ba akong nakalimutan? Ito kay Spearman-Brown formula po pala. Ay, nasabi ko na lang ba? Nasabi ko na. So, dun ko na po siguro tatapusin. Muna. Ito, masyado na rin nag-overtime ako. Kaya, yun na lang po muna. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.